Mykelti Padron says another season is happening. Her words, for sure. Cody's daughter, not TLC. On August 21st, 2025, TLC announced Season 20, premiere date, trailer. 1 year later to the day, I checked their official page. It still stops at Season 20. And in that same January answer, she called the filming very, very minuscule, sporadic. She said the show is fizzling because it's not Sister Wives anymore. 4 things get mashed into one here. Cameras rolled, the cast expects more. TLC confirmed it. The premise still earns it. Only 2 survive. The strongest thing the believers have is real, and it deserves to be taken seriously before it gets taken too far. That interview was January 28th. Someone asked Mykelti straight out whether there was going to be another season, and she did not hedge. She said it was happening for sure. No qualifiers on that part. No I think, no we will see. A woman inside this family, who has been in front of these cameras for years, told the public she was confident more was coming. That is why the rumor has legs. It did not start with a random comment section. It started with a Brown. The honest part is the one a lot of channels skip so they can act shocked later. She is close to this. She would have a rough sense of whether producers are still calling, whether crews are still showing up. When someone that connected sounds that sure, you are allowed to think another season is plausible. I am not going to insult you by pretending she said nothing. But watch what happens the moment you try to promote that sentence. For sure came out of Mykelti's mouth. It did not come out of a TLC announcement. She is not the network. She does not order seasons. She does not set premiere dates. She does not sign off on episode counts. She was not holding a trailer. She was not reading from a press release. She was answering a fan question with her own confidence. And confidence is not a contract. That is the whole trap in one line. The most quotable source is also the least official one. She can tell you what it feels like from the inside. She cannot tell you what the network has actually greenlit, because that was never hers to announce. The question stops being, is another season guaranteed, and becomes something sharper. If someone this close sounds this certain, what exactly is TLC waiting for? Because there is a reason her own answer did not stay this confident for very long. She complicated it herself, in the same breath, and I will get to what she added. First, the cameras. Now, why does anyone inside the family believe there is more television coming? Because it is not just Mykelti's gut feeling. Cameras have actually been rolling. Back in October of last year, Christine Brown said it out loud in her own public interview. Filming was still happening. She described it as intermittent, on and off, rather than a full, steady grind. And she was careful, because these people sign non-disclosure agreements, and she said as much. Still, the message was plain. Production had not simply packed up and gone home after season 20. There was contact, there were crews, there was footage being captured. Put that next to Mykelti and the picture firms up. She did not just predict another season, she said she had done a little filming herself. You have 2 separate people from inside this family, months apart, both describing the same thing. The machinery was still turning, at least in some reduced form. And this is exactly the spot where the internet sprints past the evidence. Footage is not a broadcast. Reality television shoots enormous amounts of material that gets trimmed, rearranged, shelved, delayed, or quietly never aired at all. A camera in someone's living room is proof of exactly one thing. A camera was in someone's living room. And I do not have to guess at that gap, because Mykelti drew it for me. In April, several months after her confident January answer, she said something much quieter. She had done a little bit of filming, but she did not know whether it would even make the cut. The same woman who said another season was happening for sure could not promise that her own scenes would survive the edit. That is the difference between a rumor and a receipt. The receipt says cameras were present and the cast expects more. The receipt does not say the season is finished, does not say how many episodes were ordered, does not say it was scheduled, and does not say a single frame is guaranteed to reach your screen. Which leaves an obvious question hanging in the air. If filming is not the proof, then what would real confirmation actually look like? For that, you do not ask a cast member. You go straight to the network and check what TLC does when a season is genuinely a lock. When TLC actually has a season, they do not whisper it through a cast member. They announce it loudly with paperwork attached. And I can show you exactly what that looks like, because they did it 1 year ago. On August 21st of 2025, TLC put out an official Season 20 announcement. It named the season plainly. It carried a premiere date. It came with trailer material. Warner Brothers Discovery pushed out its own formal release on top of it. That is what confirmation looks like when it is genuine. A specific season number, a date on the calendar, and promotional footage the network wants you to see. Not a fan asking a question, not a maybe, a package. And that was not a one-time fluke either. Go back another year. Season 19 was announced through a Warner Bros. Discovery release dated August 13th of 2024, again with a real premiere date attached. A formal, dated, on-the-record announcement is not something I am inventing. It is what happened both of the last 2 times, out in the open. Now hold that standard up against right now. I went and checked the official TLC Sister Wives show page on August 21st of 2026. It still surfaces Season 20. There is no comparable Season 21 announcement package sitting there. No named season, no premiere date, no fresh trailer treatment. On the official surface, 1 full year after the last real announcement, the network's own page has nothing new to say. This is where a lazier channel would lie to you. Silence is not cancellation. A web page can lag. An announcement can still land later, or somewhere I did not look. Me not finding a Season 21 package on the surfaces I checked, on the date I checked them, does not mean TLC killed the show. It means it is unconfirmed. Those are 2 completely different claims, and I am only making the honest one. In fact, the network is clearly not done with the brand. As of that same August, TLC was still publishing Sister Wives material, still putting the franchise in front of viewers. Anyone telling you the network walked away entirely is overreaching just as badly as the people promising a guaranteed season. The truth sits in the uncomfortable middle. Footage exists, the cast expects more, and the network has not confirmed anything on the record. But something here still does not sit right. If cameras were rolling, and the brand is still alive, why does this whole thing still feel like a show quietly running out of road? The answer is not really about an announcement. It is about what the show even is anymore. And the person who explained that best is the same woman who said for sure. Here is the sentence everyone keeps cutting out of the clip. In that same January interview, right alongside for sure, Mykelti described what the filming had actually become. Her words were very, very minuscule. Her word was sporadic. And then came the line. The show, she said, is fizzling because it's not Sister Wives anymore. The most confident source in this whole business, the one person handing the internet its guaranteed headline, is also the one telling you the show is shrinking and losing the very thing it was named for. She did not need a critic to say it. She said it herself, in the same breath, and people have been carefully editing out the second half ever since. And this is the moment the story stops being about a renewal and starts being about a premise, because those minuscule, sporadic cameras point at a much bigger problem than a slow announcement. Even if another installment eventually airs, more footage does not automatically hand back the show viewers originally signed up for. Look at what Sister Wives actually is now. The name promises plural marriage. A man, several wives, one sprawling, complicated family. That was the engine. That was the reason the cameras were ever interesting. And that engine is gone. Cody and Robin are a monogamous couple. One husband, one wife, sitting at the center of a program whose entire title is a promise of the opposite. That is the structural problem, and I want to be precise about how I am saying it. I am not claiming Cody sat in a room and plotted to torch his own show. I am not claiming Robin engineered anything. And I am not pretending to know what TLC privately thinks. What I can say, from the family everyone has watched on camera for years, is this. The way Cody treated the original wives, and the way everything narrowed down to Robin, did not just end marriages, it hollowed out the concept. You cannot run a show about plural marriage when the couple left standing in the middle is a party of 2. And the other side of this deserves saying. Fizzling is Mykelti's characterization, not a ratings report and not a cancellation notice. And the former wives, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, still have real, watchable lives unfolding. The franchise is not out of oxygen. But the specific thing the title sells, the plural family, is finished. That is not me being cruel. That is Mykelti's own diagnosis, and her reason is the irony the marketing cannot survive. It is not Sister Wives anymore. When a channel waves guaranteed at you, remember the same mouth said fizzling, and remember why. Not because the audience left, because the family at the heart of it collapsed into exactly the arrangement the show was invented to be an alternative to. Which leaves one question that actually matters, and it is not a prediction. It is a standard. Not will there be a season 21, but what would a season 21 have to do to be worth your time? Start from the reality on the ground. The plural marriage is over. That premise is not coming back, no matter how many cameras show up. But 3 of the people at the center of it, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, are living genuinely new lives right now. And every one of them walked out of that family carrying consequences the show never fully resolved. That is the material. That is where the story still breathes. Which means a continuation only earns its place if it stops doing the one thing this franchise keeps trying to do. It has to stop pretending Cody and Robin, 2 people in an ordinary marriage, can somehow stand in for the sprawling plural family that made this show matter. They cannot. A new wife tease will not fix it. A soft-focused season about the couple in the middle will not fix it. The strongest possible season is the aftermath, the former wives rebuilding away from Cody, the practical and emotional cost of the family fracturing the way it did, and real accountability. The moments where Cody and Robin's version of events runs straight into the record, the audience already watched unfold with their own eyes. That is a show worth ordering. The other version is just a name on a poster. 4 separate questions then, the ones the internet keeps mashing into one. Did filming happen? Yes, that one is supported. Does a cast family source expect another season? Yes, and I can name her, that is Mykelti. Has TLC officially announced season 21? No, not on any official surface I checked as of August 21st. And does the surviving premise justify another season? Only if the story finally follows the former wives and confronts the consequences Cody and Robin helped create. 2 of those 4 hold up on the record. The other 2 are hope and homework. So the next time someone shouts guaranteed at you, you will know exactly which of those 4 boxes they are actually filling and which ones they are quietly leaving blank. And if you want to see what happens when someone outside Cody's old family system finally challenges the way he talks about the people he hurt, watch my breakdown of David confronting Cody next. It is on screen now.